sweet Lord, Return to Silent Hill was bad. I wasn't really expecting a lot from this movie to begin with, and I really only saw it because I wanted to hang out with some friends I haven't seen since before Christmas. But even with my low expectations, it was just bad. And it's actually impressive how bad it is because this, since this is based on the second Silent Hill game, and that game has a really solid story that honestly is very movie friendly when you think about it. But for whatever reason, just they just had to change I mean, not just they. I mean, Christopher Gans, the director, just had to change a whole bunch of stuff to just make it like non-cohesive and very incoherent at all. So let me just start off with all the changes because there's a lot. I mean, straight off the bat, James and Mary are not married in this movie, which is again is a fundamental part of the second Silent Hill story is that he's looking for his wife. And not only is that changed, but also the whole aspect of him being in Silent Hill in the first place is completely different. He still gets the letter, he still explores a lot of the same locations, but the reason why he's looking for Mary is very different. So, again, and I know massive spoilers for both the game and this movie, but trust me, you do not want to waste your money on Return to Silent Hill. So, right off the bat, one of the other major changes is the cult is brought into the second Silent Hill story, which in the game they're not present at all outside of one of the endings where James is contemplating resurrecting the cult so he can bring Mary back. But in this, Mary is actually the daughter of the cult leader, and I can't remember if this cult is supposed to be the same one as the one from the first movie, but again, it's something that is not in the second game to begin with. So Mary in this movie is the daughter of like this cult leader, and they worship her and they give her these drugs that makes her weak and blood comes out, and then they do crazy shit with the blood, and that is why she is sick and dying because they keep drugging her with these weird things. And in the game, Mary is dying from just it's never really brought up what she's dying from, but I think it was cancer. It was just a very terminal illness, and in the game, a lot of James's guilt is because he got tired of seeing his wife wither away and being, frustrated and having to always take care of her, so he killed her in the game, and that is the driving force of him being in Silent Hill in the first place. But in the movie, because they're not married, he moves to James in the movie moves to Silent Hill at one point so he can be with Mary. But then once he finds out about the cult stuff, he winds up leaving, and then eventually he comes back, and at this point Mary is, at the hotel dying, and she basically asks James to put her out of her misery, and he does, and it's a very powerful scene. But that is like one of the biggest changes. It goes from him being immensely guilty that he did something so horrible to the woman he was married to okay, my girlfriend is like dying because the cult, poisoned her over her lifetime, so I'm just putting her out of her misery. And so it just doesn't ring true. It just feels like such a betrayal of the story and the characters in the second game. and it's just doesn't. And I don't know why this got changed. I don't know what the point of not making them married in the movie, if they thought they were going to attract more people to watch this. But at this point, Silent Hill is, as a franchise, is making its way back. There was the remake of the second game, and then Silent Hill F, which came out last year. I heard great things about both of those games, but I haven't played either of them personally. So you think that a movie based on the second game with an already solid story would be an easy layup, but apparently not. And that's not even the worst of the changes. There's a lot. Let me get into the characters Angela and Laura, because and Eddie too. First off, Eddie is only in one scene where he's introduced vomiting in the toilet, just like in the games. And then he talks to James for a little bit, and then he runs off, and you never see him again. So the whole thing with him seeing his bullies and killing them, and James eventually having to fight and kill Eddie, is completely gone from the movie. Apparently there was an interview with Christopher Gans, and this source is from 4chan, so take this with a massive grain of salt, but apparently Eddie was in the movie more, and the fight scene was at least scripted, but was cut for pacing reasons, and I can't verify if this was actually filmed or not, but it was apparently supposed to have had more Eddie in the movie, instead of just him being in it for a second and then disappearing for the rest of the runtime. And regarding the characters of Angela and Laura, well, they are not the characters from the games. In fact, because Mary is now the daughter of the cult leader, Laura and Angela are aspects of Mary. Laura is now Mary when she was a little kid and afraid of everything, and then Angela represents Mary and her feelings towards her father using her and exploiting her for the cult. And they blatantly spell it out, because there's a scene where James is at Mary's grave, and you hear Mary say remember my full name, and it's Mary Angela Laura, and I'm blanking on her whatever last name they gave her in this movie. But yeah, so, and again, and one of the other things, for whatever reason, the Silent Hill movies just cannot let the foggy city be itself. They have to always come up with some reason as for why there's no one in the city when the characters get there. Because in the games, it's implied that when the foggy version of Silent Hill is just a different plane of existence that the characters are attracted to and enter, and that the real Silent Hill has people in it walking around doing their daily lives, and you don't interact with them because you're not on the same plane of existence as them. And then of course there's the other world where everything's all screwed up and red and bloody, and great metal grates are everywhere, and that's where the monsters and Pyramid Head are. And then for Return to Silent Hill, it's explained that there was something with the factory that was poisoning the air, and everyone left. So yeah, just having to over-explain and change things for what purpose? To attract a new audience? But at this point, Silent Hill really should have been made for the fans, because at this point, the fans are the ones who really are going to be seeing these movies, because the franchise has been dead for so long. And yeah, the new games are coming back, so you think, oh, let's do a faithful movie version of the second game, because the story is so strong and everyone loves the second game. Easy layup. But just wasn't it. So, and even with the shot of tequila I had with my friends before the movie, that didn't help at all. So definitely avoid Return to Silent Hill. If you absolutely need to see it, like, just wait until it comes to streaming. Like, definitely don't pay money for it. So, you know, either see it as part of your subscription service or just go on to like one of the pirate streaming websites. I know it's already out of most of the theaters in my area, and it's only the second weekend, so it should probably hit digital any day now. So, in my opinion, the best video game adaptation movies are still the 90s Street Fighter anime movie, the Sonic movies, which are way, way better than any right they have to be, and as well as the first animated Super Mario movie. Like, those are still my best video game adaptations. But yeah, it's just Silent Hill just keeps getting bad at video game movies. And honestly, if you still really want to see a good Silent Hill movie, Jacob's Ladder is probably the closest we'll ever get to an authentic Silent Hill movie. At least the vibes and the aspects of Silent Hill are best represented in Jacob's Ladder. So if you haven't seen that movie and you're a fan of Silent Hill, definitely check it out. So that'll be it for today. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy my content. And as always, take care of yourself and each other, because this is all temporary. YouTube can disappear tomorrow, but you are not. So take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.